Everybody, and welcome back into Heated Shenanigans Podcast, hosted today by Scott. And guys, joining me today is WWE star, the one and only Bull Buchanan, B Square, one of my all-time favorites, guys. I am so happy to have you on, Bull.
Hey, happy to be here. Happy to be here.
So, we were talking a little bit before we got on the air here, right about some stories that you had mentioned with Teddy Long.
Yeah.
And with Godfather, I think it was great. I love stories. Let's start with a story.
I think we're headed to. Somewhere. We were down south. We're going from Louisiana through Mississippi. We're ending up in Mobile, Alabama, and Rikishi had his mother. That she was kind of on the loop with us that time. She was riding with Rikishi. And so, we wasn't really in a line, but we were all heading in the same direction. And we pulled over. We saw him sitting on the side of the road, and Rikishi was out getting tire out. So, of course, we pulled over. And then Rocky wasn't far behind us, so he pulled over. So we're all out there on the side of the road. And we all got in there and helped, and got him back on the road. And Rikishi told me later that his mom said, if I didn't know any better, I'd say Godfather smelled like weed. So, yeah, it was, but it was stuff like that. It was a lot of camaraderie back then, and just felt like we were all kind of pulling on the same end of the rope for a while there.
Yeah, I love road stories, the ones that are safe to say. I know there's some stories out there you can't bring up. The statute of limitations have not expired.
Right.
Well, so you also are in law enforcement, correct?
Yes. I joined the sheriff's office here in 2012 as a jailer, and I spent about a year working in the jail, and went to the police academy, and got out on the road, stayed out on the road for a few years, and then went to investigation, stayed over there for a few years, and now I work at the courthouse, which is 9 to 5, 5 days a week. So it's it's not a bad little gig. So pretty happy.
What drove you into law enforcement?
Not necessarily what drove me into law enforcement, but I remember watching when The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke first came out. I remember watching that and saying to myself, that is not going to be me, which I'd always said that, but it's easy to say when you're 24, when you're 45 and you see the end of your career coming, irregardless of what you do, you see it coming. I just didn't want to be that guy still hanging around, trying to make a living, $20, $30 at a time. So I started kind of planning a little earlier, and my roommate in college, a lot of friends that worked there. And, so I just got in touch with them, and, kind of transitioned into that. I was still wrestling a little bit while I was in the jail, but I just felt like once I came out on the road, I needed to you go ahead and hang it up. And, so the sheriff's department, they kind of hosted a retirement, show for me. And I got to invite all my friends. Me and D-Lo tagged. I had a bunch of my other friends come down, and so it was real cool and everything. And I just planned on staying retired.
So, has anybody recognized you at the jail? Like any of the inmates, recognize you from TV?
Oh yeah, they all know me. They all knew me the day I walked in there. So it's helped out. I think certainly it has. Everybody thought I was a real cool guy when I was wrestling. So, I guess most of them still think I'm a, cool guy. Hopefully I am.
You always look so larger than life on TV, and always had a really good look to you. And I always felt like, even in the time and right to censor, like you felt like that enforcer role. I thought that was a really good fit for you.
Yeah, that's what Vince always saw me as. Vince always saw me as a killer. He liked me in the Truth Commission. Obviously he liked me. I stayed there for a while. I don't know how much of the gimmick he liked, but he liked me in the Truth Commission, and then putting me with Boss Man. He liked me in that killer kind of role. So, and that's what I felt comfortable doing. That's what I've always done. So, that was my kind of my wheelhouse, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I was just I was always a big guy. I was always taller than the other kids, and I I was always pretty athletic. I played a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, but played a lot of basketball. And I actually went to Southern Union, a junior college, and played a couple of years down there. I was good enough to play at the junior college. That's about it. I wasn't going to the NBA or anything. But, I was pretty athletic. So, I tried to bring that to the table too.
I mean, I thought you did a really good job. Like, you had I like the moveset you had in the ring. And I wanted to ask, so with Right to Censor, I thought that was a faction that might have been just ahead of its time. In today's world, I think this would have been the number one heel faction going today.
Yeah.
But do you feel that Right to Censor should have had a little bit longer run? Like, was there a little bit more meat to be had on the bone?
Oh yeah, we could have kept going with it. There were several. Well, there were several ideals out there. The whole thing that happened with Stacey Carter dipping out on us that day. I mean, there was a pretty significant storyline that we had already started, and we were going down, the road with that. But yeah, I mean, we could have, of course, we could have had more legs, but I don't think I really don't know that they expected it to get the kind of heat that it did. I think it kind of took them by surprise. But I mean, once they went with it. I mean, they pushed it. I mean, can't say they didn't. We were involved with we were involved with China when she was just doing the Playboy. She was red hot. We were involved with Rocky.
You went on to also work with a very young John Cena when he got into the thugonomics, the rapper gimmick.
Yeah.
How did that pairing happen? How did you end up getting in with John to work with the early stage of his career?
Well, after the Right to Censor thing, dwindled out, we were still on. I think we were still at TV for about a month or so. They were doing the invasion angle, and so me and Godfather and some other guys, the APA, we were chasing the WCW guys around the building every week. But we were still out on the house show loop, so still getting good money from that. And then we went off the road for a little while, and I just knew from experience that it probably wasn't good just to sit at home and collect the check. So I called JR about going back down to OVW and to work on something down there, and he said, of course. So I went down there, and so I was actually working with all those guys down in OVW, and I got to know them, and I saw you could see stars with all of them. But I knew John was I mean, he was great on the mic. So I figured if they could come up with the right thing for him, it's always you never know. But if they could come up with the right thing for him, he would do well. And he came up with it himself. But yeah, but I got back on the road. They were bringing me to TVs. I was doing dark matches. I did a couple of velocity matches. Actually pretty proud of the matches. Me and Matt Bloom, Albert wrestled in one of them, and me and Mike Awesome wrestled in one of them. So that was a guy I'd always wanted to work. So, but I wasn't doing anything on SmackDown yet. So I was backstage at SmackDown one night, the night that we debuted, and they told me that you're going out with John. And I knew he had kind of transitioned over to the rap thing. And I thought about taking it, because they left it a lot of it up to me creatively, and I kind of thought about taking it down the traditional bodyguard, kind of a suit kind of deal, maybe the earpiece in. But when Ryder, I can't remember who it was, but when he told me, he made it sound more like a friendship kind of thing. So I thought, well, let's take it in a whole different. I was riding with me and Shelton Benjamin were riding together at the time. And so we headed out to the local. We found a local mall around there, and I bought. And on the way out there, I had just bought the new Eminem CD, and it kind of dawned on me. I said, Eminem, Slim Shady, the brown pants, the wife beater, and so we went to the mall and bought it, and that's how it happened.
I thought it was a good pairing, and it was so different from what you had been doing. It
Yeah.
just it showed your range as a professional wrestler and your ability to adapt. I honestly was a fan.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun doing it. We had some good matches with the Guerreros, and like I said, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on house shows because John had a little more freedom what he could do on the mic, and so we had a little more fun on the house shows. But yeah, I know we had fun with it.
Now, currently, you're getting ready. You have your own wrestling company, correct?
Yes, just started.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, it's well, I've been waiting a long time to do it. I've always wanted to have a training school, and just staying busy, life, one thing or another. I've really never really got around to it. But a friend of mine and myself, my friend owns a WGTV here in the West Georgia area. He broadcasts all the West Georgia high school sports, all the high schools around here. He carries their football games, their basketball games, wrestling, any sport they're involved in, he carries it. And so he's a big wrestling fan, and he wanted to do some wrestling. So me and him sat down and talked, and we decided to put it together. And yeah, and it's Bullpen Pro Wrestling. We got our first show on June 8th here in the old high school, Bowden High School gym, the same place I had my retirement show, which is kind of cool. Same place I played basketball when I was in high school, which is really cool. But yeah, and I got a lot of local guys, and we got a lot of good independent shows around this area actually. Some of the bigger ones are Southern Honor, Southern Fried, Anarchy, which was oh God, what was it? Back when the Hardys came down, and in the late '90s, can't remember. But we still got Anarchy, Premier just up the road here. NAWA in Rome. We got a lot of good ones around here. Pro South just over in Alabama and Piedmont. So we've got a lot of local guys, and we've got some bigger names. Michael Judas, that was in TNA. He's down. He's a big star in Southern Honor. I think he's actually a star in NWA now, and he's facing a kid from around here, Drago, kid from Ukraine. Looks like $1 million. Got David Young is on the show. Adam Jacobs is on the show. My son's on the show. Zach Buchanan. Got a bunch of second generation kids that I've watched grow up. AJ Black and Jaden Bain, both there. AJ's grandfather was Doug Summers, and his uncle's Frankie Valentine, a big star around here. Jaden Bain, his dad was a big star around here for a while. So yeah, I got a good mixture of talent.
So did you reach out to them, or once they found out you were going to fire this up, did they come to you?
No, well, actually, no. I reached out to them. I mean, I've had a lot of people, contact me about doing it, and I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna work everybody in. But no, I actually reached out to them because I already kind of had him. I just thought about what I would like to see as a pro wrestling fan, and so I kind of had the guys in mind already that I wanted to use, and basically I got two separate. I got two dressing rooms. I got a bunch of old guys and I got a bunch of young guys. And for the most part, they're going to be, going against each other. And, we're going to say, young guys are probably pissed because the old guys are holding them down, and the old guys are pissed because the young guys are taking their jobs. So we're going to let them go out there and, have at it and see what happens. But it should be entertaining.
Now, where can fans find tickets for this event?
Well, we're sold out on front row. We're working on a QR code where people can buy them online. Right now, you can just get them at the door, but we got plenty of room for everybody who wants to come. Seating shouldn't be a problem. It's a pretty good size arena. but yeah, June 8th at 7:30. It's gonna be an event. There's gonna be more than just wrestling. We got some little bit of singing going on. So yeah, it's we're trying to get the wrestling crowd and the the people that maybe don't watch wrestling that much but are interested in what's going on in the community.
Hey, that sounds like a heck of an event, guys. And if you're in or around the area, I would highly suggest taking up this opportunity. June 8th, come on out.
Yep.
Watch some good quality professional wrestling.
Yep.
Well, do you have any other upcoming appearances that you want to promote, Bull, by chance, or anything that you want to make sure the fans know about?
Well, we're getting the training school going. You can get in contact. I got a Facebook page, WGTV. That's Bullpen Pro Wrestling. We've got a Facebook page. We're getting that going. We're taking, we're taking people now, whoever, and we got a lot of different, it just doesn't have to be a wrestler. Tom, like I said, he's got his TV thing. So, WGTV. So he's got a whole production crew. They need help. So, people that are interested in doing stuff backstage, maybe working in the production end of it, we can find everybody something to do. So, referees, managers, valets, whatever. But yeah, we're going to be running every 2 weeks. I think our second show's on June 22nd. Now, I believe July the 6th. And, we're just going to continue to go every other week through the summer and through the winter.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the growth of the show, and I hope it turns out to be a phenomenal success for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Heated Shenanigans Podcast. I would very much like to thank my guest today for taking time from his very busy schedule to join me on this episode. It truly is a fantastic opportunity. And guys, everybody out there, stay safe, take care, and we will see you on the next episode.